So once we have discussed the claims management, now if you go to the database, so we have take one session to understand how to store the claim master data. We have also created the corresponding view. If you look at this, this is the page. We are using this page. You can add a new claim, edit, delete, whatever. And in that case, it is going to store the data inside this claim master. We have also discussed the user claims. So basically, for any particular user, if you want to manage the claims, and once you manage the claims, those informations are going to be stored in the database. So in that case, which database table it is going to make use? It is going to make use of this user claims table. So sorry, user claims table. So once this is done, then we are having this roles claims table where it is going to store the claims information specific to a user. And that page we have also discussed. So this is the manage claims page. So inside this claims manage claims page, you can decide, right, whatever roles you want to manage. For example, this is one page. Here I just want to provide this export report and view. So that's fine. So that what you can assign, and this is working as expected. Now what I need to do is I need to implement claim-based authentication. Claim-based, not authentication, claim-based authorization. See, guys, remember there are two ways to authenticate a user. Already we have discussed the role-based authorization. And now, before understanding claim-based authorization, first of all, we need to understand why claim-based authorization. Already we have role-based authorization. Based on the user role, we can give permissions to right access the resources. Then again, why we need to use claim-based authorization? Okay, let me ask you one question, simple question. I want one admin user. Okay, let's assume I want 10 admin user. Out of 10 admin user, 3 user, they don't want the flexibility of editing and deleting any data. Another few 4 user, they only want to view the data. And another 4 user or 3 user, they want all the permissions. I mean, they can create, they can edit, they can delete, everything they can do. But the user that belongs to be a group, that user group is going to be admin. One admin user, out of 10 permission, he can do 3 operations. Another admin user, out of 10 permission, he can do 4 operations. Another admin user, out of 10 right permission, he can have all the 10 permissions. So without this claim-based authorization, it's very difficult to manage such things. So what you need to do, you need to create so many admin user with the 2 permission, admin user with the 3 permission, admin user with the 4 permission. That means what? It means we need to create many different kind of admin user. That means what? That means the number of roles in our application is going to be very high. So this is very complex. This is very difficult to manage. So to overcome this problem, what exactly we are going to do is we are going to use claim-based authorization. So what exactly role is going to tell? Role is going to tell what is your role within the system. And claim is going to tell what you can do within the system. What is your role and what you can do. Your role is admin. That's fine. That is going to be decided by the role admin. But as an admin, what are the operations you are allowed to do? Whether you can create a new user, whether you can update a new user, whether you can manage other admin, whether you can delete a role, whether you can delete a role, another user, whether you can view the reports, what you are allowed to do. That is going to be decided by the claims. Clear? Clear or not?
Yes.
Clear or not? Yes or no? So already
Yes.
we have the based authorization. Why we need claim-based authorization? So if you got this question in the interview, you have to tell this thing. So with the role-based authorization, we can give some high level of roles. Managing the detailed specific, it's very difficult. For example, you can tell. So for example, there are 100 users, they belongs to the admin group or any specific group. Out of 100 users, we want some of the users with some specific permissions. So that is very difficult to achieve using role-based authorization. We can achieve this very easily using claim-based authorization. So what we need to do? We can assign claims to user. So this is the user. For this user, these are the claims we provided. Now When the user login, first of all, we are going to check, yes, this is the admin. And for this admin user, does this user having the claim edit, edit user? Yes, having. Okay, let me give them access to edit the user. No, this user doesn't have the edit claim. Okay, I'm not going to allow. So that flexibility you will achieve using claim-based authorization. See, whether you are going to use role-based authorization, claim-based authorization, policy-based right, whatever it may be, how the process is going to be happening behind the scene, let us try to understand. So first of all, you have to remember, whenever, see, this authorization means what? After authentication. Authorization means it is the secondary step. First step is authentication. So in our application, when the user is authenticated, in which action method we are authenticating the user? Within the login post action method, we are authenticating the user. So how we are authenticating the user within the login action method? Now within the login action method, if you go to the implementation, so we are calling this sign in manager password sign in async method. So when we call this password sign in async method, what is happening behind the scene? That what we need to understand. So for understanding this thing, right, what exactly the right framework or the identity framework or the MVC framework, what they are going to do internally, let us try to understand. First of all, when application user is loaded, authentication creates the identity. So how? Now, first of all, the application user is loaded. So what is application user? Application user is nothing but our user. So whatever the user we created, so this data it is going to load, and this data in our system it is going to load by taking the help of a application user. So or you can say this is the identity user. So here this application user, or you can say identity user, why we are treating it as application user, because we have extended the identity user. So this data it is going to load. Clear? So when the sign-in is completed, this data it is going to load from the database. After loading this data, then what exactly it is going to do? It is going to create the claims principal object. So this claims principal object is nothing but the user. So that the user, that the instance name is going to be user. Claims principal means it is the user object, right? So if you go to the, right, what I can say, if you go to the layout page, so in the layout page, you can see I'm using this user. So this user is nothing but it is the claims principal object. If you go to the definition, then you will see that type is going to be claims principal. And this claims principal object is going to be created when the user is authenticated. Then what information this claims principal object is going to hold? If you remember, at the time of claims management, we have discussed there are different types of claims. So whatever the data you are having within this users table, those information it is going to store as claims. That is nothing but your identity claims. Whatever the roles you defined within your application, that is the user roles table, you can see for each user, whatever roles are there, those information it is going to stored in the tables, plus permission or access authorization claims. So basically, whatever the claims we created, so claims in the sense you can see that user claims, that role claims. So all these informations it is going to load. So basically, not only the user identity and user roles, but also it is going to load the user claims as well as the role claims from the .NET database. I mean from the database. So basically, what exactly the claims are going to store? Claims are going to store the user information. You can find what is the user ID, username. You can find the associated roles. You can also find the associated claims. So identity information, role information, claims information. All these things it is going to store inside the claims principal object in the form of a claims only. Clear? Sir, what is claims? Claims we have already discussed. It is a statement about a user. Means what? The information about the user. So each information, name, it is a information. Email, it is a information. Phone number, it is a information. All these things it is going to store in the form of a claims. And this is nothing but it is going by creating a claims principal object, it is going to store. So in this case, guys, remember, in this case, we are using right cookie-based authentication. In this case, we are using MVC application, so cookie-based authentication. So in that case, it is going to store this information directly, right, in the cookies. how these things is going to be handled if you are working with the ASP.NET Core Web API in JWT. So in JWT, what you need to do, you need to create something called claims. If you remember, guys, whenever we discuss the JWT, that time we are creating the JWT token based on the cookies. I mean, based on the claims. So those claims, whatever we are storing, that name, ID, roles, along the same time, you can also store the this user claims. You can store these roles claims into the claims object. So that is what you need to do manually. And in this case, storing the user information, claims information, user claim, role claim, everything, we are not bothering. This password sign-in async method, which is provided to us by the ASP.NET Core Identity Framework, internally does all these things. Clear? Clear? Clear?
Yes.
Right? And then this claims information, it is going to transfer. If you are using JWT, it is in the form of a token. If you are using MVC application, it is going to be transferred in the form of a cookies. Right? And we have already discussed how cookies are working in ASP.NET Core MVC application. And this cookies concept is not available in JWT. In JWT, they are going to be travel in the form of a token. And whether you store the cookie data, this data, I mean this application user in the cookies or JWT, in each and every request they are going to be transferred, for which authentication and authorization is required. So if you are using JWT, you need to pass the JWT token, that the POS token. If you are using cookies, then in this particular ASP.NET Core MVC application, those cookies informations also going to be transferred automatically. Now this is my application. Now, if you want to see, if you go to this application, this is my application here. So some identity that application. So this information is transferring or not? Yes or no? So this information, this is not the cookie, right? Those claims, whatever we store, this is the claims, and that data, it is transferring in the form of an encrypted to achieve the security, right? To get the best security, right? So once this data is provided, right, in each and every request, when it comes to the server is going to authorize, server is going to evaluate the claims. So it is going to get, right, from the cookies or from the token, it will fetch whatever the roles are assigned, whatever the claims are assigned. And to access this particular action method, whatever the claims is required, those claims are available in the cookies. If available, okay, fine, 200, that request is going to be processed. Not found, 403 forbidden, or you can return access denied page. If you are working with the JWT, there is no access denied page, you have to return 403, and even in MVC application, you need to return access denied. Clear? Clear or not?
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
So now let us see how we can handle this thing. Guys, remember this claims information, you can, I mean that claims based authorization, you can achieve using two options. One is without using policies. Another one is with policies. With policies means you can achieve both. Right? What I can both in the sense claim-based authorization. You can also achieve role-based authorization. So I'm going to discuss how to achieve role-based and claim-based authorization using policies. I mean that policy-based authorization. First of all, what I'm going to discuss is without using policies, we can do this thing. So without using policies means what? Now within each action method, what you need to do, you need to check the permission. So permission means this is the claim type and the claim value. So in this case, you can see here we are storing the claim type and the claim value. So within the action method, what you need to do is you need to use this user. This is nothing but your principal object has claim. Does this principal object having this claim add user? I mean, this user is assigned with this add user claim. If it is assigned, fine, you can proceed or you can write proceed. If not, if the current user who is accessing this create action method, he doesn't have this permission add user, you can return forbidden 403 or you can redirect to the access denied page. So these things you can apply within the controller action method. Also, if you want, you can also apply this, right, what I can say, claim-based authorization within the views also, right? In the views, what you need to do, you need to check that this application user has the claim permission, view users. If view user permission is there, then he can access right, the view users button is going to be visible, else it is going to be visible. I mean, this section will not be visible. So let us proceed and see. So currently, let us proceed and apply this authentication and authorization within the user's controller. Let me directly apply this on the user's controller, and then I will show you how that claim-based authorization is going to be worked in our application. So let me first copy this code. So go to the user's controller. So this is going to my user's controller now. Now within the user's controller, please observe what I'm doing here. So index action method. What is my requirement? Index action method can be accessed by any logged in user. No claims, no permission required. So this authorize attribute is going to ensure the user is logged in, user is valid to access all the actions method, whatever we defined within this user's controller. So this index action method, you can see, can be accessed by any logged in user. If the user is not logged in, he cannot access. And here we are not checking any permissions. Clear? This index view can be accessible by any logged in user. Clear? Now, this is my create view, and what is my requirement? Now, for this create view, doesn't matter, right, whoever the user is, the user must be a valid user, and the user must have this AddUser claim. Here we are not checking role. That role will come into the picture. I will show you how to include both role and claim. That what is also the best approach, the hybrid approach, that is one. But for now, what we are doing here, we are checking if the user is valid, doesn't matter whatever it wrote. But if the user having this add user permission, then he can access this, what I can say, endpoint. Similarly, if the user having add user permission, he can access this one. And if you see here, for this edit action method, edit view, if the user have edit user permission, he can access, otherwise it is going to return. So instead of this forbid, what I can say, return, redirect to action, account controller, and then this is going to my account controller. And in the account controller, we have created one access denied. Na? Yes, access denied. Clear? You can redirect to the account access denied action method of the account controller. That is also possible. So instead of returning this, forbidden. Clear, guys? No. So this is redirect. That's fine. So again, here you can also return redirect to account. Here also you can write the same logic. If the permission is not there, you can redirect it to the access denied page. So here also you can see if the delete user permission is not there, you can redirect. Now again for the same in the case of a post action method. So manage claims, again write manage roles means the user must have this manage roles permission. And this user must have manage roles permission. And for the claims, manage claims, currently what I'm doing here, now I'm not applying any permission here because I'm going to manage the claim right again and again. Intentionally, what I have done here, now if the user is the admin, then he can manage the claims. Clear? And here you can see I'm not applying any policy-based access control. Only, right, if the user is admin, he can access the endpoint. So with this, is that clear how to apply claim-based authorization within the action method? Is that clear?
Yes. Yeah.
Pranay, how you are accessing this user.hasClaim user?
Sorry?
How there is a if condition. You are checking the user.hasClaim. That user, how you are getting? I'm not getting.
So what is this user? First of all, tell me what is this user?
I'm not getting that. Is the
This
problem?
object.
See, this is the principal object. So in the account controller, right? In the account controller, whenever you call this login async method, so in the account controller, when you call this login async method, internally we are calling this a password sign in method to sign in the user. right? So this password sign-in method, right? What exactly internally it is going to do? So internally, it is creating an instance of application, right? Claims manager. Internally, it is creating an instance of which class? Claims manager. Clear? That claims manager, what exactly we have discussed here, right? I don't know whether, right, why you have not raised the question. So in this case, so this is the claims principal object. So this claims principal object is known to the framework. It is not going to be managed by the user. It is going to be managed by the framework whenever you are implementing any kind of authentication, whether you are using JWT authentication, whether you are using this cookies based authentication, then in that case, this claims principal object is going to be created by the framework, and this claims principal object going to contain all the claims information. Clear?
Yeah.
This claims principal is clear. We are not creating this manually.
Yeah.
Who is creating this? The framework internally creating this claims principal object. What information this claims principal object is going to store? It is going to store all the claims, all the identity related information, all the roles information, everything. And this information, right, is traveling through in the form of a token and in the form of a cookies. So you are creating one cookies, and that cookie is going to contain this data. You are creating the JWT token, it is containing the data. So whenever the server send the request, whenever the server send the request, so first of all, what is going to be happening? It is going to validate the right token, or it is going to validate the cookies data. So that is means what? Whether the user is a valid user or not. That authorized attribute is there. So once the user is valid, then what exactly the framework is going to do is whatever the cookies data, I mean claims information it is receiving either from the cookies or from the JWT token. By taking those claims information, it is going to create an instance of this claims principal object. So whatever claims data we stored, so by taking those data, it is going to create this claims principal object. And once the claims principal object is created, then how we can access this claims principal object? Now they have provided one object, or you can say one class. This user is the type which is provided to us by the framework, and you can use this to access the claims principal. So here you can see this is the claims principal object, which is part of your controller class. And using this rated user object, you can access those information. So when at the time of authentication, this object is going to be initialized, and from where it is going to initialize? From the HTTP context data to user. Clear?
Yes. No, I agree.
And from this user, all the informations are there. All the information means role information is going to be there, claims information is going to be there. So now we are using this AddClaims method to check whether this user contains this permission with this, I mean this claim type and claim value. If this permission is available, then this is, I mean this method is going to return true. In case of not available, we are using this of or not operator. So in that case, we are going to navigate to this page. Clear?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, so this is not related to what I can say ASP.NET Core. I assume so any type of application you take into consideration, ASP.NET MVC, ASP.NET Web API, ASP.NET Core MVC, Core Web API, whatever, this concept is going to be standard. So claims principal means it is standard. The way claims authentication, token-based authentication, role-based authentication, JW, whatever cookies, the concept is going to be same. So now, right, again, what I need to do? So whatever the changes we have done here, the same set of changes again I also want in the corresponding views. So in the views, now I'm not going to use any role based and all these things. So what I need to do? I want to apply the claim based authorization within the views also. So let me go ahead and update the views. So let me go ahead and update the views. So if you go to the index page, so this is my index page. So not which index page is this one, roles index page, but we are interested in the user index page. So this is going to be my users index page. Okay. So before doing this, right, let me replace this code. Right. Now in previous case, we are checking whether the user has role. For example, if you look at this logic, So here we are checking user.each-in-role. So instead of using each in role means which is nothing but your role-based authorization, now we want to implement a claim-based authorization. So claim-based authorization means instead of each in role, what I'm using here has claim. If the user has this add user claim, then it is going to create a new user. If it has edit user claim, he can edit the user. If he has this claim, he can manage and accordingly delete and view users. And intentionally, you can see this manage claims. I'm not applying any kind of claim-based authorization. If you want, you can attend. But here, right, what is my intention? I'm going to modify, edit, right? I'm going to add, update, delete these claims. So I'm ensuring that the claims page is accessible to the user if he is admin. So with these changes, right, rest of the things are going to be same. With these changes, let me run the application and see whether the claim-based authorization is working as expected or not. So currently this is the user. Now you can see all these details, edit claims, but manage. But in this case, that role space is not visible. Okay. So log out, log in, Pranay, test @1234 users. So detail space is visible, edit visible, claims visible, delete is visible. Now, if you see in this case, edit user for editing the user for right, I mean for editing the role. So what permission is required? Manage roles. So do you have any claims with the name manage roles? If you go to the claims master table, manage claims, manage reports. So we don't have that permission, manage what I can say, manage roles. So let me go ahead and create one permission, manage roles. So now what I need to do, go to the claims, add a claims. So that claims name is going to be manage roles. So what is that name? Manage roles. Manage role. Let give this to both. Okay, let it give to role and save. So that's fine. So we have saved this. Now go to the role space and for this admin role, let give this permission managed. So we have done this. Now again, right? Again, guys, remember to take this effect into consideration, you have to relog in. So Pranay Kumar 777. This is going to be test @1234. And this time you can see that roles is visible. Clear? Clear or not?
Yes.
Right. Now, so in this case, you can see another user is there, that is Pranay Kumar 777. If you see, he is a manager. And for this user, only add and view users options are available. So let me go ahead and log in with that user and see whether everything is visible or only whatever permission is given. So in this case, it doesn't, it is not going to check. You can see only that the details option is visible, nothing else. Clear? Is
Yes.
that clear?
Yes.
Claim-based authentication is working like this. So basically, it is going to check, right, whether the user having the claims or not. If the user having that claims, then he can access the application. If no claims, then he cannot access the right resources or pages. Anyone having any question, guys?